I mean, will we find poetry? Do people read poetry online, I wonder? Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, is there a certain type of literature that is most predominant? I mean, it seems like the latter, the better.
Diary-like journals.
Yeah.
And some is very interesting, some is very mundane.
Yeah. Any other?
I get to, what I really love about Red Room is that I get to upload the artwork that I do for my graphic novel as I proceed with the sketch and then the individual panels, the first panel, the second panel, and the final product. And the reason why I showed that was because Jessica Inklin was teaching graphic novel in college, and she didn't know anything about how it was done. Do you write first? Do you draw first? And she sort of muddled through it. So she posted that, and then I started posting the artwork, the steps that we take to do it. And so I think it's a teaching tool. And because it's visual, we can actually show how things are done, the tools of the trade, et cetera.
Yeah. Another question at the mic?
I'm just wanting to enact maybe a place that a lot of us are in. So I've been to your salon, and Ishmael, it's an honor. And did you find your manuscript that you were advertising had been lost? And that's not my question.
This is quite a story, yeah. No, it was a we're doing a big anthology called Powwow. We came in with 650,000 words to be published this year. 10,000 years of American storytelling, going back to gender things like Condor captures Falcon's wife, old Native American story of California, up to the present day. So my spouse, Carla, and I were working on the anthology, and at one point, we had to send all the permission slips to New York, all the signed permission slips. And Carla said, no, I insist that I do it by hand. I said, no, we'll go up to Krishna. No use of you going down there doing all these permission slips by hand. They lost it. They lost all these permission slips. And so I put an ad in the paper asking if anybody had recovered those slips. So we had to do she had to do it all over again. Okay. Go out and do all the permission slips all over again.
So
disaster.
Did you have a question?
Yes. My critic at Squaw Valley called me sort of a feminine Robert Coles. I'm in this privileged position of having had a lot of people of color tell me their stories of how they stay whole in the workplace, and I edit books for a publishing house that is interested in wholeness in the workplace. I don't think they're going to be interested in me because I'm not about wanting to be on Oprah and encourage the capitalists, blah, blah, blah. If anyone has any ideas for how I can fundraise, because I've used all my own personal money and I'm on the edge now, or if anyone has any work for me.
I think that's one of the things that Red Room's about, right? I mean, she could come online and maybe ask
we are hoping to really help people make their career dreams come true who are writers, and it's not going to be easy, but there's a lot of ways we can. For example, one idea that I had was that we have a showcase where people who do not have a publishing contract could get pre-orders for a book that they've already written. And if it reaches a certain threshold, then we go ahead and publish it. And those kinds of gray areas just are not getting explored right now. It's not self-publishing, but it's not an existing publisher. We also, we're going to eventually we'll have agents, agent pages, we'll have editor pages. We want you to find the support that you need. But as a former writing coach, let me just tell you, the best advice I can give you is stop networking and going to readings and just finish your writing. And if you need support in doing that, find somebody to sit down and write with you silently while they write. But there's nothing like a finished project to get you to the next step.
One last thing, it's like when I go to artist colonies, I kind of feel a little too scholarly, and when I'm around academics, I feel too creative. Don't worry about it, just finish it.
Don't worry about what anybody thinks of you, or even your inner critic thinks of you, and just plow through. No matter what you do in life, you're going to have that little voice going, maybe I'm not doing it right, maybe I don't fit in. Ignore that voice, ignore all of that. Your job is to stop blocking your heart's desire. Your heart's desire is to be a writer. So stop blocking it.
I'm going to jump to the next written question. Thank you. Okay, I'm pleased to be a Red Room author, not in the league of our panel, this person says, and there are others also in the audience. Actually, how many people here are on Red Room? Wow. Okay, for the radio audience, there are quite a few, actually.
Nice.
Probably about a quarter of the audience, so that's great. What can authors and others do to maximize effectiveness of redroomdotcom for each other and for Red Room Writers Society? And maybe I'll ask someone other than Ivory to answer that, since you all are in the community. Belle?
Can I go last? I got to think about it.
Okay. Anybody else want to jump? How do you maximize? We talked a little bit about that, but
the thing I love about it is that it's so well designed, and yet the page is yours. It is your room. It is your. To me, it feels almost like a storefront. So my advice is make it as much yours as you can. I mean, it's actually taken me a while to get to that place. Like the morning that I suddenly realized I could post my essay on my blog, and just experimenting. Putting out podcasts of interviews. They now have this image gallery, which is great. I take photographs as well. So I put some of my photography on my site. It just became more and more personal, and I became more actively involved, and then readers and visitors to my Red Room page got more involved. I think that's my best advice.
I actually wrote a letter to my class of 78, graduate class from Commonwealth High School, and invited them to read it because I'm helping to produce the 30th class reunion. And it gave me a chance to really talk to people about, casting away the categories that we kind of stuck people in, and made apologies to people who were teased in school, and hoping that they would come. And in a way, just writing letters to a lot of people. I wrote a letter to Ivory in the beginning because I really was excited about redroom.com, and I was thankful to her. I wrote to the schools, to the kids that I had visited in Stockton. Some of the kids didn't have eyeglasses because they were too poor and Medicare couldn't pay for it, so I wrote a letter to the class and then sent it to the principal. So this way, I don't really feel like I'm having so much fun there. I'm not really thinking about using it for selling books or anything.
And yet this is a case in point. Belle is one of the most popular authors on the entire site, even though a lot of people had, frankly, not heard of her before that, but she is a huge presence. So it's an opportunity to be a star when you're not a star in that other way.